going on, everyone? Today we have to cover AVANTIS because, as you can see, we are up 9.2% in the last 24 hours. So we're going to talk about this, talk about what happened with this pump and where I think it's going to be going next. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's get straight into it, guys. So as you can see, 9% up in the last 24 hours, still down 14% in the last 7 days, but you know it's good. Up 32% in the last 14 days, down 45% in the last 30 days. So, you know, AVANTIS is up and down right now, really volatile. 92 million in volume, 173 million inside of market cap. So it's been moving pretty good. The developers, you know, they're still developing, still posting new stuff every day for the people. So yeah, and you know, they've been calling themselves the on-chain Robinhood. So that's, you know, that's pretty big. That's a big, well, 4 pillars have been calling them that, but they've been calling themselves that. Let's leave it at that. But let's go ahead and talk about what I see next, because, you know, a lot of people seem to be very bullish, but it seems like every time I come to Twitter, everyone is showing their bullish thesis for everything. Every single day, they're just showing their bullish thesis. They're not showing the downtrends. They're not showing none of that. They're not showing pullbacks. They're just showing, oh, it's bullish, it's taking off, bullish, taking off. Like if you look at every single price prediction here that they're doing, they're all super bullish. Like you can see the pattern, right? And that's why you got to be careful what you pay attention to. Anyways, let's talk about this, guys. As you can see right here, this is the bearish expanding triangle. But something new has just now transpired within this bearish expanding triangle. What I'm seeing right now with it is that we've actually, it looks like we were inside of this bearish expanding triangle, right? We were inside of it. And then as you can see, it started to ride the trend line of that bearish expanding triangle. And then it broke down. Now, I want to argue for this bearish expanding triangle. And I want to say that there is a possibility that this bearish expanding triangle could actually be still in effect. Now, if you look at what I just now did here, we're still technically in a bearish expanding triangle. It's just expanded. And, you know, that's why they call it the bearish expanding triangle, right? Because it expands. And this one literally just expanded. So there's 2 possibilities here. There's one possibility where this bearish expanding triangle just, you know, completely invalidates itself, breaks down, gets rejected where we are at, and then goes down to about 40 cents, right? That's one possibility. And as you can see here with the percent R trend exhaustion, the long-term trend is kind of curving upwards, short-term trends coming upwards as well. So, you know, it kind of indicates that an uptrend could be happening. And then we have the MACD showing a little bit of buying pressure coming in. So, you know, we could have another uptrend, right? Possibly. The second scenario here is that we break out past this resistance here at 69 cents, and then we come up here to this resistance, break past that, and then get stopped here at like $1.05. So there is a possibility of us, you know, going up to like $1.05 right now. So just know there's a possibility that that could happen, right? And there's really only a couple scenarios, right? And it might not just go straight up there like immediately, right? Like it might do something like this, may take a couple days and then just blow past it. So there's really only 2 options here. We either come up here to this $1 in a 5-cent area up there to the top, or we're pulling back down to 40 cents. So that's what you want to be paying attention to with AVANTIS. And see, look, this is what you got to think of. When you go to Twitter and you look at all those people doing their price predictions, they're never going to tell you the bearish scenarios, right? They're literally only going to tell you the bullish scenario. And I don't think that's fair. I think you need to know both the bearish and the bullish scenarios. Because look, if we get rejected, yeah, this does look like it should be going up, right? But if you also think about it, it is called the bearish expanding triangle for a reason, because it's a bearish signal. So just because we have the possibility to go up doesn't mean we should, because remember, it's a bearish expanding triangle, which means we could break out of the bearish expanding triangle early. We could break out of it right here, right? So technically, we have already broken out of it, technically, because if you go back to what I was showing you guys before, this is what it was looking like. before it broke down. But now that you can see that it broke down, now it has kind of entered into another bearish expanding triangle. What does this mean? This means that it could quite possibly break down even more. And this is kind of the idea of the bearish expanding triangle here. So you can see the lows are getting higher here, right? The lows are getting higher, but then you're also seeing the highs are doing the same thing. The highs are simultaneously getting higher as the lows are also getting higher as well. So the only hope is for a massive breakout. And I think a massive breakout is possible. It's all contingent on Bitcoin at this point, because if Bitcoin does not break out, unfortunately, a lot of things are not going to break out until Bitcoin finally does it. And they're all inside of a bearish expanding triangle. Let's be honest. Bitcoin's inside of a huge macro one on the daily chart, as you can see here. Bitcoin's bearish expanding triangle is actually like supposed to be like the home run. This is supposed to be like the touchdown of the crypto run, right? Like it's supposed to end sometime in February 2026 at 150K, 157K, and then just dump from there, right? That's kind of how it was supposed to look. But look, now we're at the bottom of the bearish expanding triangle on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin breaks out, what do you think happens for AVANTIS? AVANTIS does the exact same thing, and they're at the exact same area right now, and they have the exact same chart pattern, a bearish expanding triangle. So all it depends on at this point is Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks out, then AVANTIS is in a good position to break out as well. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated. It's a little bit different than Bitcoin though, because this is AVANTIS. The bearish expanding triangle is on a 4-hour chart here. It's on a short-term chart, right? And then if you come over here and you look at Bitcoin, I have Bitcoins set all the way out here to where you can look at it on the weekly chart too. So still a bearish expanding triangle. It looks better on the daily chart, honestly. But yeah, still a bearish expanding triangle. And look, it could break down to the downside early. It could break down to the downside early on both Bitcoin and AVANTIS. If it does it on Bitcoin, look close towards 100K. If it breaks 100K on Bitcoin, I'm shooting for 85K. Almost, yeah, 85K. That's what I'm shooting for. If we break down below 100K on Bitcoin, I'm shooting for 85K and a possible bottom at 74 if it keeps going. But hopefully it does not break down like this, because that would really suck. That would really suck. I just want to see this thing hurry up and keep going. But yeah, this is usually how these cycles work. It usually takes a few weeks or a few months actually. If you look over here when everything started pumping, from the time it peaked up here. Let's not even do it from the time it peaked. Let's do it from the time when it was just really high above 100K. And then we're looking over here is about, let's say, December. So all of December here, all of January here, all of February here, all of March, and this is 2025, and a little bit of April, like half of April. So you had January, or no, you had December, January, you had February, you had March, and then you had half of April. So you had 4.5 months of sideways downward trading movement, right? And we've kind of been seeing the same thing since we entered this pattern here. So we could start it, let's just say we started it at June. We got all of June, right? We have some of May too, but we're not even going to include that. We have all of June, we have all of July, we have all of August, and all of September, and now all of October. It's been 5 months, guys, 5 months. So I think that we're actually about to have a massive breakout inside of Bitcoin. It's about time, actually. We've been, we've kind of been sideways a little bit for a while, but not even that. Is a little bit different than the other times, because the other times we just peaked and then we consolidated, peaked and then we consolidated. But here we didn't peak and then consolidate. We came up gradually, pulled back, came up a little bit more, gradually, pulled back a little bit more, gradually, pulled back, created a peak on both of these times. So we technically created 4 new all-time highs on this pump, right? Like we did it here. We created new all-time highs. We created new all-time highs here. We created new all-time highs here. new all-time highs here on Bitcoin. And then you see on the way up here, it kind of did the same thing. So I would say around 5 months. It's been 5 months already. So I think going into November, we should be bullish, hopefully, but we're going to have to see if that is going to be true. But all in all, I'm still pretty bullish with AVANTIS long term. So it doesn't really matter. I think AVANTIS is going to do pretty well. This is the daily chart on AVANTIS. And I think buying pressure is actually starting to come back in a little bit on the MACD. There is a possibility we could start seeing the buying momentum going up on AVANTIS. But this is a bearish expanding triangle. Like, we can't deny that. We cannot deny that. Now, what we can deny possibly is how we got into the one that we're in now. But, it's still technically a bearish expanding triangle. So let's see what happens. I'm going to keep you guys updated here. I think this is good for AVANTIS. Would I be purchasing right now? No. Your time to buy AVANTIS was way, way, way before all this. Your time to buy AVANTIS was back here when we were trading around like 47 cents, like 10 days ago. That was, or really like a little over 10 days ago. 2 weeks ago was your time to buy AVANTIS, right? So I wouldn't really be focused on trying to get in. But if we pull it back to 57 cents possibly, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to keep you guys updated. But yeah, I'm still staying true to my target. I want to say 40 cents with AVANTIS. I can still see that happening. I still see 40 cents possibly happening with AVANTIS, and possibly even 28/27 cents. But this is all I got for you guys today. I'm going to keep you guys updated. Go ahead and become a member of the channel. It's only $9.99 per month. And you can go ahead and have me cover any type of crypto. You can have me do a technical analysis on any crypto or stock, and I'll do a full technical analysis video for you guys. But shout out to all the members that we got. And yep, again, hit the like button, subscribe everybody, and as always, I'll be back with another video.